So how was work this evening, neighbor?
I need a lap dance, table 5. Don't get too close. The guy smells like asparagus pea and he's got a hook hand.
You're not a neighbor, you're a pot dealer.
I have a smidge of marijuana down in Mexico. Bring it back here by Sunday night. I will pay you $100,000.
It was way out of my league.
You don't have a choice.
Hello, this is the Screenhook UK audio review of We're the Millers. And the first thing that I must say is that while this introduction and opening to this review is boring, generic, and shit, the same applies for We're the Millers, so that's why I did that. But just like this audio review, if you stick past the opening, you're going to have some absolute gold on your hands.
Oh god, you're setting the bar way, way too high for us there.
But I'm not setting it for two of them. It's a Jennifer Aniston film, you know?
God, that's enough to make me kind of groan.
Yeah.
Normally.
But I think after Horrible Bosses, she's got a new lease of life. She's not doing the shitty comedies anymore. She's doing the comedies where you're allowed to say the word shitty, which is nice.
Yeah, I do like the fact that she's starting to star on maybe a bit of harder edge comedy. I know we were saying before we came on, she's getting hot again.
Oh damn, she's so hot in this. And the problem is, like, I think her hottest look in this is she wears like a black cropped wig right at the start.
I was gonna say that's like I first of all I haven't seen this film just to clarify, but I was watching some trailers and reading up on it before we came on just so I could maybe comment on it a bit. But yeah, man, god damn, I was like, I was thinking, Jesus, I would have gone to see this if she'd looked like that all the way through this movie.
Yeah.
They kept it a secret, man. They missed out on potential ticket sales.
But what's annoying is, like, in that introduction, she's only, like, visible like that for about 4 seconds. She has an extended striptease later on, which you see heavily in the trailer, but that opening one just wasn't long enough.
And I suppose, that's why you're going to go and see a Jennifer Aniston movie, to see if she does get naked.
She is gorgeous in this, though. Like that, as I say, that latest striptease that she does.
Well, coming back to Horrible Bosses, she started to look hot again there, because, like, obviously 90s, like, Friends, Jennifer Aniston, she was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Let's let's put it fucking conservatively. She was an attractive lady, but I think once Friends finished, or even towards the back end of Friends, and she really did nothing for me.
No, I agree.
And she hasn't for a long time. But yeah, she's got something about her. She's starting to get into that older woman. She's getting to become a cougar.
Yeah, like, well, what's her face? Courtney Cox is already there. She's literally a cougar.
Cougarville, Cougar Town.
Cougarville.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Cougarton Abbey.
Is that the British spin-off?
Yeah.
God, yeah, it's a Cougar Town.
Yeah, Cougar Town.
Cougarville sounds better.
Cougarville's much better. I'm surprised that, they didn't call it that.
I think we should make a Cougarville.
Yeah, I think so.
I just have to...
Piss take.
Yeah.
With Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, why not? I think that would be much better. So yeah, tell us about We're the Millers.
Right, so if you get past the intro, the first half hour of the film, it's all about introducing the characters. So you've got drug dealing Jason Sudeikis, and God, I love Jason Sudeikis. I think he's hilarious. He's always playing like such a scumbag in every film I've seen him in.
Yeah.
In Hall Pass, he's the only good thing about that film.
Do you not like? Hall Pass. Yeah, goddamn. Yeah.
It's a terrible film, but like every time he said something, I thought, that's still pretty funny.
The only thing I remember of that film is that is it Fake Chow?
Yeah.
And that's Jason Sudeikis. So yeah,
Yes.
just YouTube that because I'm sure it's on if you don't know what we're on about. But
that's exactly what I was thinking of when I was saying that he's the highlight of that film. I love him in Horrible Bosses because he's the only one without any sort of scruples in that role. Like everyone else is like,
and yet he starts off as like the nicest one.
No, yeah, and then he just descends in the absolute, why don't you just murder your boss and I'll fuck your boss? Like, so he's in this, he plays like a lovable drug dealer, and he's the sort of drug dealer that, I used to know you, have some free, like, really good quality weed. He's a nice guy, but he's a drug dealer.
The best kind of drug dealer.
Oh yeah, I don't like those nasty drug dealers.
You just don't want to go back to them, man.
No. You never fill in the customer satisfaction form with them.
Exactly. Well, you do, because you do it at the end of a gun. Oh,
yeah, that's true. So he gets robbed by some like a 14-year-old gang. It's mildly amusing because this is in the shitty intro which I referred to earlier. And Ed Helms is his like drug mob boss, and he says, "Right, if you go and pick up this marijuana from Mexico, I'll let you off with all the money that you've lost me." So he comes up with this plan where he starts he realizes that like happy families just get away with things, like driving where they shouldn't do, and they just pretend to be all happy and stuff. So he's like sitting outside his building, and his family drives up and asks him what directions, and he's like, "Fuck off!" And then this policeman comes up to them, and he's like, "Yeah, you can't stay here." And then they're all happy too, and the policeman lets them off completely. And he's like, "Damn, if I could do that on the Mexican border." So the whole first part of the film is he's getting his family together.
All right, and I presume that consists of Jennifer Aniston as his stripper wife.
Yes.
Emma Roberts as his tearaway daughter, and
Yes.
Will Poulter as his one nerdy son.
Yeah, he's not nerdy whatsoever. He's I don't know. He's very simple.
All
Yeah.
right, he's the simpleton, is he?
Oh, he's so. Simple.
Is he Chris Griffin basically?
Yeah, but he's. Yeah. Yeah, he is. It's actually well, apart from I was going to say it's quite like the Griffin family, but he's the only one actually. So that was a bad analogy. Apologies. But right, so it's pretty shit. But once they all, because you know where it's going to end up, they're all going to end up in an RV together. But it takes half an hour to get to that point.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, you can look at the poster and you kind of get what this is going to be about. So to spend like half an hour of is this like a 90-minute movie?
Yeah, it's not very long. It's 110 minutes.
Fuck me, it's nearly on 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, they spent a quarter of that film establishing what the poster does in like 10 seconds. I'm not saying you don't need to establish certain things, but maybe not that long.
No.
Is it funny at all?
Well, not the opening really. I was thinking, God, if it's like this all the way through, I'm going to have to walk out. That's how bad the opening was.
Wow, damn, man.
Because it was just like.
Do you ever walk out movies?
I think we've covered this.
Yeah, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but I don't think either of us do.
No, I never have. I would have walked out with Sweeney Todd because I hated it.
Wow, man. I like Sweeney Todd.
I was kind of trapped. That's the only reason I didn't walk out. And I probably would have walked out of 4 Christmases when I went to see that.
Oh, god damn. Yeah, I wanted to walk out of Christmas when I saw that shit. It was fucking awful, man. Vince Vaughn, he's like the opposite of wine. He gets worse as he gets older.
It's too true.
He's turned to fucking vinegar like in 2000. After Dodgeball, he just turned to fucking vinegar.
I watched Lost World the other day. He's minting that.
Is he in Lost World? I thought he was in... No, he is in Lost World, isn't he? He's...
Yeah.
Who am I... Yeah, it's another guy completely in the third one.
Oh yeah, he's an O one.
Yeah.
What were we reviewing? Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know, you saw it. So yeah, wait a minute. So
by the time they get the whole wholesome family makeover done, and they start on a plane, they fly from wherever they live to Denver, and then they drive from there to Mexico. From the point where they're on the plane, that's when it picks up, and I was so glad I didn't walk out because from there on, it's really really funny. It's sometimes there's like long lapses between jokes, but you know that there's another good one just around the corner. And I don't know if you got from the trailer, but they actually only spend about 2 scenes in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, they get. I mean, it's probably. I don't want to say it's a spoiler because it's like such a generic comedy, but they get like back into America so quickly.
That was like, why the fuck did we even get this motley crew together in the first place?
Yeah, it was just so unnecessary. But yeah, it's really funny. It reminded me of the humor of Horrible Bosses completely.
Well, is it not the same kind of team behind it?
I think it must be because it's got like I'm guessing that Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis because they're like heavy hitters from Horrible Bosses.
Even the fucking like poster looks the similar style.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, the director is a guy called Rawson Marshall Thurber. Damn, that's a yank name. And he directed Dodgeball.
Oh right, that's cool.
But he didn't.
I'm so glad that this didn't have Vince Vaughn in it though.
Oh god, yeah. And some of the writers seem to have done things like Wedding Crashers and no sign of Horrible Bosses though. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just having a quick check here though. No.
Either way, it's very reminiscent. It's that vein of comedy where it's some nice-ish people doing something naughty, and it's how it eventually gets resolved.
Here's something though that might kind of set the tone. Some of the writers had writing credits for Married with Kids.
All right,
Is it Al Bundy? With Katie Seagal?
Some of that writing is painfully obvious now you said it.
Yeah, I like Married with Children.
I love Married with Children.
Christian Applegate,
for a second there, I thought you were going to say some of them share writing credits on Movie 43.
Oh well, they might. Who doesn't on that piece of shit? It's embarrassing.
So if I just I'll run through some of the the cast people that I thought. Jason Sudeikis, I've already covered him. He's awesome. His makeover is probably the best one because he's a drug dealer and he gets just a haircut and then all of a sudden he's like this family man, except that every time he's got this, he wants to have a catchphrase. So every time like someone, like a stranger walks up to the family group, he just whispers them, right, it's Miller time.
Oh God.
And they're all like telling him to shut the fuck up every time he says it. Jennifer Aniston, she's actually got probably the most complex character because she's like a down and out who's had to become a stripper. She's getting evicted, and the boyfriend that she used to have like completely ripped her off and taken all of her money. So that's the only reason she's doing it.
No, they've all got a sub story.
Yeah, no, it's just her.
No, I mean, I just meant strippers.
Oh yeah. To be honest, she's got a lot in common with Emma Roberts' character, who's the runaway. And you could just see like she was going down the same road that Jennifer Aniston did, and she's trying to pull her out of it like a mother should.
Is that what they bond over?
Yeah, it's quite amusing, like the way that they can play with the dynamics of a family, especially since they're not a family. So there was one bit where it's reminiscent of. Can you remember what in The Incredibles where like they're in an RV themselves driving towards like the supervillain?
Yeah.
And he's like, if you don't like shut up, I'll turn this RV around. It's just a play on the whole family dynamic.
Uh-huh.
And that's what this one did. So they're on the way to a drug deal, and they're having like the kids are having an argument in the back, and he's just like shouting at them, saying that if they don't like stop talking and concentrate, then no one's getting any drugs.
Which is probably for today's youth a big punishment.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny the way they can completely play on it. So when it's revealed that Will Poulter's character, Will Poulter is awesome in this.
Yeah.
He's a guy, and I'm hoping he's a like real up and comer because he was funny as fuck.
Well, he had humble beginnings, really, didn't he? He was on what was that School of Comedy?
And he was the only good person on that show. It was a pretty lackluster show.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was. But he's done like a lot of movies. I mean, he's been in the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Chronicle of Narnia film.
Yeah.
He was there like pain in the arse, fucking cousin.
Yeah.
On that. He was in a film called Wild Bill, which was pretty good.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining, kind of like Cockney gangster flick, kind
Oh,
of like
right.
about a guy called Wild Bill who he was a fucking nutcase, and he's got out of prison and he tries to reconnect with his estranged children. While like his old kind of drug dealer mates are trying to rope him back in because everyone thinks he's a nutter. It was good. It was better. I thought it looked like shitty kind of Cockney gangster fodder, but it was a lot better than I thought. But he's like the older son in that. He's pretty good. But it's nice. You know, he's obviously starting to make it big because he's in American movies now.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I say make it big. He's starting to maybe forge a bit of a career for himself.
well, he's on the same level as Emma Roberts at least, and I mean she's been around for a while.
Yeah, I mean she was Nancy fucking Drew.
Yeah.
So you advised me before we started doing this.
Yes, I had to advise you. Yeah, let's be careful with what we say. I mean, she's old enough now. I mean, not that we don't.
Oh, shit. Oh man,
She is a pretty girl in this. I'll say that. If we're saying that Jennifer Aniston's beautiful and cougarish, she's very beautiful in this. So if she's listening, I mean, if he's listening, Eric, I've only got good intentions.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you don't want to get on the wrong side of her father.
No.
He's head of, well, he isn't anymore, but he was head of the Gotham.
He had his ankles broke.
He died. Didn't
Oh
he?
yeah. But first he had his ankles broke.
Yeah, he didn't have a good time of it, to be honest. Fucking Eric Roberts, fucking hell. Emma Roberts is old enough, man. She was in Scream 4, so.
Yeah.
She's in a slasher movie, she's fair game.
I quite liked her in this because she was sort of like she was the only character that didn't take any shit from Dave, who was Jason Sudeikis' character. So even though she was dressed like an all-American sort of cheerleader, goes to church every week, every now and again he would just ask her to do something politely, and she just responds with like "fuck off, Dave," and it's like everyone around's like, "Oh," because they dressed so nicely.
She looks so fucking young in this.
No, that's what I didn't recognize her at first. I only realized it was her when I watched the credits.
Like, just looking at the pictures here, she looks like so young, and it sounds awful, it sounds so seedy, but she's like so young and all-American wholesome kind of.
Yeah, she's very wholesome. Well, though she looks wholesome, but damn, she doesn't act wholesome.
No, she's a street tough, isn't she?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, the whole story is she's run away from her parents, so then she gets this like surrogate family that's so dysfunctional, but it's actually better than any family she's ever had before.
It all seems kind of fairly by and by, like the stories.
Oh, the storyline is, so generic, it's unbelievable. It's just the humour that they managed to derive from it. It's almost like The Hangover. If you like boil The Hangover plot down, they just like start having these stupid events occur, and it's the way that they react to it that's the comedy.
Yeah, that's it. I think with a film like this, you're never really going to get like a wholly original plot. So all you can hope is that something it's funny enough to fill in the time it runs for.
Yeah.
And would you say it is, at least after that initial stumbling block?
After the initial stumbling block, it completely fills the time perfectly. I think it could be a 90-minute film if you could trim a lot from the start and maybe a bit from the middle. But other than that, I think it's great. And this Nick Offerman is also in this.
I was going to say, yeah, fucking hell, Nick Offerman, man. It's about time he started getting some...
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't think Nick Offerman likes being in films. I think that's why he's not in them.
Oh, right, okay.
But he's in this one, and he plays a husband of a swinger, and they end up having some sort of cahooty stuff going on in a tent, and so obviously they're thinking it's really exciting because they're swinging with another couple, but the other two are like, well, we're not a couple. Like, it's just a really awkward situation to be in.
Nice. Is he as good as in Parks and Rec?
No, he's not quite. He doesn't have quite the literary sort of like, I don't know, amazement of that guy. I can't remember his name in Parks and Rec.
Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson, yeah, he doesn't have the words of Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson is a modern day philosopher even. Jesus.
But he is a badass in this. Like he plays like a lot of the middle part of the film is he plays a DEA agent, and so obviously he doesn't like drug dealers or smugglers.
He's not fond of them.
No.
But hey, without them he'd be out of a job. So
that is true. And he's all through the film. It's established that he's been forced out of the agency because he's too soft on criminals. So he says that like he keeps saying stuff like, the next time I see a drug dealer or smuggler, I'm just gonna like take him down and like beat him to death before I arrest him. And it's just like they're sitting there with an RV full of like illegal weed, and
and looking at the trailer, it's a lot.
Oh, it's so much. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy amounts. It's like literally warehouse levels of weed. It's fucking stupid. It's like there's no way you'd get from one end of the country to the other.
Well, no, the thing is, he has so much weed in the back in the RV that the RV breaks, and that's why they end up meeting this other family who'd like take them in. But the awkward bit is that Jennifer Aniston's accidentally made it look like they have a baby, because as they were talking to this family, a bag of weed dropped from like the over, because this weed is stored everywhere in the RV. So like from the little like compartment above her head, a bag of just in like 8 pounds of weed drops into her lap. So she wraps it in a blanket, and as she's hiding it, it looks like she's cradling it, and they think it's a baby.
Oh yeah, this is on the trailer. I think this might be on the Red Band trailer, but goddamn, yeah, it's like one of those situations that just goes way beyond, like to the point where you could just never get away with it, and that's even just on the fucking trailer.
Yeah, it's when because they meet them at the Mexican border with the baby, and then just like, oh, thank God we'll never see them again. And like 20 minutes later, they end up needing them help. And Jennifer Aniston and Emma Roberts have just been walking down the road and looking for help. And as they see some RVs coming towards them, it's this family towing their truck, and she just opens the door, and Jason Sudeikis is stood there with like the biggest angry frown on his face, holding this like fake baby in his arms, and he's like, they accidentally called the baby what's the name of that basketball player?
Kobe.
No, the other one. It's not Shaquille. I
Jordan.
can't remember. No.
Michael Jordan.
He's like a really famous. Who's the one that raped everyone?
Kobe Bryant.
It is Kobe Bryant.
Well, I don't know, but there's always jokes being made about it. I don't want to start accusing people of being serial rapists, but there's always jokes about Kobe Bryant raping people, so I don't really follow American NBA, so...
No, it's LeBron. He didn't rape anyone.
Oh, LeBron James.
Yeah, so it's like this wholesome American like wasp family, essentially,
Sorry,
and they call their son LeBron. So he's like, well, it's all going fine except for baby LeBron, and she's desperate to hold him, and like they have to do all in their power not to let the DEA agent's wife hold their fake weed baby.
The wife is, I'm mistaken, is it a woman called Catherine Hahn?
Yeah, I don't know what she's been in.
She's in a load of stuff. She's like not a big star, but she's just one of these actresses that pops up in a load of comedies like this. I mean, she's in Anchorman, she's in Step Brothers, she's in that fucking How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days movie. Jesus Christ. She's just one of these people that pops up all the time. She's in The Newsroom.
Is she?
Just one episode though.
Is she in series 2 or?
I don't know, mate. I'm just looking at her page here, but she's just one of these actresses that pops up a hell of a lot. Did you not see that Jennifer Aniston movie and the Paul Rudd movie Wanderlust?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you don't need to, but she's in that as well. She's just one of these actresses that pops up all the time.
I mean, she's not great. I mean, she's married to Nick Offerman, so I don't think anyone's going to look good, but their daughter is fucking awful. I will say that.
Is that the redheaded girl?
Yeah, she plays Nathan Fillion's daughter in Castle, the TV show.
Yeah, Molly C. Quinn, she's called.
Yeah, and she's actually really good in Castle. She plays this like really smart, confident girl, and in this, she's just like degraded to like this put down daughter of like a normal couple, and I think she's got like one line in it. But to be fair, she does have the best face reaction of anyone in the film, which is when she accidentally walks in on. She fancies Will Poulter's character, and he has an opportunity to kiss her, and he doesn't take it, and it turns out he's never kissed anyone. So Emma Roberts decides to give him kissing lessons. And,
and she walks in on them.
No, she doesn't walk in on that. And then Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis walk in, and Will Poulter's like all shocked. He acts like they're his real parents all the time. And he's like, oh, it's not what it looks like. And Jason Sudeikis is like, really? Because it looks like Emma was giving you pity kissing lessons. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. So Jennifer Aniston gets really excited. And she's like, oh, let's see what she's been showing you. So she starts kissing him. And she's like, yeah, that wasn't bad, but do this next time. And she kisses him back. And then Emma Roberts is like, oh, no, now do what she just did to you on me to see what that feels like. And so they're just playing like, he's playing tonsil tennis with Jennifer Aniston on one side and Emma Roberts on the other.
And this actor was getting paid for this.
I know. It was probably the funniest scene of the movie, and then she walks in on when he's kissing his mum and sister. Yeah.
I love the way we're just kind of just spoiling all this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just need to tell someone because no one else has seen this film. But Jason Sudeikis is just sitting in the corner of the room eating popcorn, like grinning like a schoolboy.
What's the only thing you can do in that situation?
Yeah, he's just letting it play out.
Oh man. So
I'm not sure that. I think I went to see this for free off my unlimited card, and I had an amazing time. I'm not sure if you paid £12 like it would have cost me, if you'd still feel the same, especially because the opening's so shoddy. But I love this comedy. This is definitely a one to I like. You know, I'm gonna buy it when it comes out. It's up there. It's on the same level as Horrible Bosses to me, which is one of my favorite recent comedies. So I'm looking forward to the home release of this.
The only thing I really remember about Horrible Bosses is that, the detective who tracks them down all the time? The black guy?
I can't really remember him.
Oh man, well, he's like one of the main characters in The Wire.
Alright.
And he's pretty much playing the same character in Horrible Bosses. So I thought that was great. The guy's called Wendell Pierce.
Got transferred?
Yeah, maybe he did. Times are tough in Baltimore. But I just love the fact that Wendell Pierce was playing a detective in it. So that's all I really remember about Horrible Bosses. That and Charlie Day and
yeah, that was my first exposure to Charlie Day. Because I still haven't watched Always Sunny.
Oh mate, you need to come around mine and we'll just have a marathon. It's so fucking funny. It's so dark.
Yeah.
I've got like it's on Netflix. But we don't have all the series. I think we're missing one or two series, which is annoying me. But yeah, it's just some of the stuff's so fucking horrible. Like, there's no likable characters in it whatsoever.
Well, I watched some clips of it the other day because I can't remember. I was watching like a trailer for Netflix, and I think there was a lot of Sunny clips in it. And I really want to watch it because I do like Charlie Day as well.
Yeah, Charlie Day is probably one of my favourites in it. I mean, him and Danny DeVito have a really cool partnership in it. They live together in this like complete shithole. And Danny DeVito's fucking hilarious in it, man. It's just, have you seen the clip where he's hiding in the sofa?
No.
Oh man, I'll send you a link. But yeah, that's fucking great. But getting back onto We're the Millers. I mean, what would your rating be for this movie?
Well, in terms of like my personal enjoyment, I'd give this an A. This is one of the best comedies I've seen at the cinema in a while. Because I didn't see Horrible Bosses till I bought it on Blu-ray. So I can't remember the last time I laughed this much. It's probably, I dare say I'm going to get shot for this, but it's funnier than either Alan Partridge or World's End. It's not as good a film as either of them, but I thought it was funnier. But
is it one of those movies that's just kind of easy watching?
Oh, it's so easy, yeah. But it's purely it's a fairly shoddy film if you were to take the comedy out of it, but the comedy's so good, I thought. So I'm gonna give it a B plus.
That sounds fair enough.
Yeah, it was good, and I think if you get a lot of friends together to go and see it, maybe that's the way to do it. But I was in a cinema I went to see it on Friday night at 9 o'clock, I think, and it was rammed, and everyone in there had an awesome time.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes it helps when you've got an audience who are really getting into it because it just like lifts everybody up and you kind of encourage each other to have a good time. And
yeah, I think that's
No, I think from obviously I've not seen this, but from what you're saying, it does seem that type of movie that's probably funnier and more enjoyable than it deserves to be as a whole.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's one of those movies, like, for me, one of them type of movies is like 40-Year-Old Virgin, where it's always funny, and I can just kind of stick it on in the background and have a good time with it.
Yeah,
it seems
it's gonna
kind
be
of
like
that, yeah.
Because when I was ill the other day, and I thought, what do I want to watch? So you always want to watch something easy, and I put Horrible Bosses on. And, like, I just, like, I wasn't even watching it, just, like, lying in a dark room listening to it. And this is going to be that kind of film eventually. But if you can go and see it with, like, a group of friends, it's not instantly quotable, because it's more funny events that happen. It's not like Anchorman, where you can just say lines back at each other. But it's just like, remember the time when Will Poulter's got his nuts bitten by a spider? Or remember the time when Will Poulter got punched in the face? Or...
He doesn't... Well... He seems to get a lot of bad shit, but the kissing, is that like what brings it back up for him?
Yeah, I think that's fine. He also kisses that other girl as well eventually.
Molly Quinn.
Yeah. I don't care about spoiling this film. Fuck it.
Well, I think it's a bit too late to apologise anyway. So
I'm going to give it a B+, and I'm going to end the review there because I'm going to spoil something that happens at the end now.
All right.
So. There's a series of outtakes at the end, which is something I miss from credits in movies. I love watching outtakes.
Yeah, well, they kind of have the credits going up one side.
Yeah, that's what they did. And the very last credit is Ben. You've watched the trailer. You've seen the rap that Will Poulter's character does.
Yeah,
and pretty funny. Well, the very last outtake is that scene's set up by Jason Sudeikis. This is just after they've boosted all the weed, and Jason Sudeikis, right, let's have some victory music, and he puts on the Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls song. Well, in the outtakes, he's like, right, let's have some celebratory music, and he puts on the theme tune to Friends. And all three of them, like, start singing it as much as he starts doing the rap in the trailer. They're all, like, going mental for it, and Jennifer Aniston's just sitting there not looking impressed for 3.5 minutes.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. It was brilliant, and then at the end she was a good sport. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I really like your family.
Is that
You know what that is? Is that a cucumber?
They're interesting.
It's a big black penis.
It's a skateboard. Skateboard, great.
Of course it is.
The big black skateboard. Turns out that we stole from an international drug dealer.
You all die now, as a family.
We're not even a real family.
My wife, she's just a cheap stripper.
Okay, prove it.
Let's get naked, shaking money maker, baby, I'ma show you how to.
Have some respect, that's your mother.
We have been shot at. Kenny's been bitten by a tarantula.
I can't feel my bingo.
Will you relax?
How about a little music?
I seen a rainbow yesterday, but too many storms have come and gone, leaving a trace of not what God given me. Is it because my life in 10 shades of gray? I pray all 10 fade away, seldom praising for the sunny day. Don't go